Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all to Season 1, Episode 6 of Losing Our Marbles, a Talk for Two. Today's guest, you the chat. Yeah, you the chat. You're the guest today. As always, do keep in mind the mustache is very temperamental. So if you have anything lengthy you'd like to contribute, either answer or question, make sure to post it in the Discord so that we can get it. That being said, how are you all? Welcome in. Glad to have you all here. Thank you for keeping this series going. We're actually gaining traction. I've been watching the numbers, and we're getting somewhere. It's not just dying a horrible death. It's like all of my other non-Marvels related ideas. So thank you all for continuing to support the Saturday show. I really appreciate it, and I hope everyone is doing well. I know Jay Baddock, you had a question prepared, so you all can start asking your questions, and any questions I propose, you may ask, or you may answer either in chat or in Discord, wherever is most suited for the length of your message. There will probably be some downtime, some silent me longingly gazing into the camera lens while I wait for responses. And that's okay, because silence is not a problem. I know, Americans, calm down. Trust me, when two people are in a conversation, that does not mean there must be continuous conversation. There can be a pause. There can be a moment to think and say, that is a good point. I need to calibrate this into my worldview so I can reanalyze my analysis of the world and see things through a slightly different angle, so that I can then begin to react with you on a newly educated level, on an uplifted and more informed viewpoint. So let me process this for a moment. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. I'll have to think more about that later. See? That wasn't so bad. Yeah. Ducky and Dark Madden, welcome and Seth. Good to have you all here. And I don't know if any of you have picked up on my little things that I've been doing during these shows, but I don't want to disrupt the flow of conversation with acknowledging chat when they say hi or if they make a donation, although those things are appreciated. So I've been doing my little waves. So if you see the little wave during any of the future shows, that's like the I see ya, but we're busy signal, all right? Yesterday's turnout, 91 marbles for the first official run. Are you kidding me? 91 marbles for the official turnout. Oh my goodness. It was good. It was a good turnout for sure. And the weekend just getting started, guys. I'm telling you. We got this right now. We got we got Corey Strange's build later today. And then tomorrow, oh my god, the Tilted Tournament. So again, if you all have any questions, feel free to post in chat. Jay Baddock, if you've got that question about the tournament tomorrow. That's all right. Again, if you can't fit it into Twitch chat, put it in Discord, and then we'll read it in Discord. It's not that big a deal. I have a question for the chat, actually. I don't know if I want to ask this question now or if I want to ask it later. All right, we'll save that question for that. But I have a question to ask now. It's kind of related, actually, to what Valerius was talking about. Howdy, Cat Place. Good to have you, Grim LV. Welcome back. Yeah. I have a question though. Is that what do you think? Because my my current approach to marbles is filling in the gaps. That's always kind of been like that's how it got started, right? No one was doing color commentary on races, so I filled in that gap, and then no one was mastering tilting, so I filled in that gap, and no one was making different maps, so I filled in that gap, and so it's a conscious quest to fill in those gaps. So like, what I'm trying to get to as a question is my scheduled approach to interacting with the community, right? Because everyone has their tournaments. You've got the mid-season tournament, you've got the end-season tournament, you got season launch. Like, there's these big overarching structures to each marble season. And the way I'm kind of falling into playing it now is going really big off-season, like we did last season with the end of the season blowout. And then, like, kind of disappearing for a week or two while we work on the 1 hour map for the next season. And then kind of going big again as our own like start of the season celebration 2 weeks in, and then just kind of keeping the events going throughout the season. And so it's kind of like it's a crescendo dead stop, and then crescendo again dead stop. And I'm kind of nervous about that kind of a structure because like I had a huge success with the end of the season blowout at the end of season 16, but then we didn't like stream anything for like 2 weeks. And it's like, you get this huge following, this huge exposure from the event, and then I just kind of disappear, which to me seems like a bad idea. But I'm not really sure how else to do it, because it's not like I can build up to a huge end-of-season event and then compete with everything in season launch, right? Because season launch is just this big free-for-all massacre, right? So I think it serves more as a hype to the community than a hype to my own channel, right? So, like, the end of the season blowout happens when all these people are just kind of, figuring out what just happened, right? Because a lot of people show up during a season. And then the season ends, and they're like, well, now what, right? And then the Shed event happens. They're like, oh, shit, this is hype. And then, boom, season launched, right? So it's kind of like this pickup carryover. Like, all these scragglers at the end of the season that don't know what's going on, and I'm just kind of like, and into the next season, bleh, right? So in that regards, I don't think it's particularly about my stream as it is about matching the format of the community. But I'm wondering what your guys' opinion on the current structure of that crescendo stop, where we basically splash 2 weeks into the season, and events, super event at the end of season, off season, and then we just kind of disappear for 2 weeks again. So, Cyber Kraken is thinking about promoting the Shed kickoff at the end of season blowout. What? Oh, like tell everyone at the end of season, and don't worry, 2 weeks from now we'll be back, right? See, that's what I'm saying is I don't think that works. I don't think the end of season blowout works as a channel hype so much as it works as a community hype. What about mid-season to work on the next season? Well, that's the thing. Pixel's been so active in changing the builder that I'm actually afraid to invest too much time into the 1 hour maps pre-season, right? Because if certain things are changed, then I have to rebuild the map from scratch anyway, right? Plus, then I get to incorporate new pieces into the build, which has always been another thing on my mind. Like, the 1 hour map used to be like a reflection of the last season, right? So, like, season 15 was a reflection of everything that happened in map building in season 14. And then season 16 was a reflection of everything that happened in map building in season 15, right? It was always a season behind in its design. So it's a bit more of a challenge for me because I have these pieces I've never seen before, and I have a very short amount of time to figure out what I can do with it and incorporate it into an idea. But the relevancy, I think, is more important. And that's what I'm thinking of this is because, it's a hype for the community. And then, people aren't going to miss Shen's TV because it's the start of a new season and everything's exploding. And then right around that second week is kind of when the dust settles. And it's like, oh, right, Shen's still there, right? Just like this pillar in the middle of the desert. This sandstorm just wipes through. And then the sandstorm disappears and the pillar's there. You're like, oh, right, the pillar. We were so worried about protecting our crops and shielding our children's eyes, we forgot there was still a pillar in the middle of the desert, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's hard to work on maps for 50 hours, only to have to redo the whole thing if a change gets made, right? And sometimes, like, with season 15 going in, or season 14 going into 15, the only change that affected my map was the placement of the funnels, right? Which wasn't too bad for me, because the funnels just kind of shifted back a little bit, and the jumps still worked, but the jumps weren't as reliable because some marbles were hitting too far on the edge, and they did that scoop thing where they shot out. So it was a quick fix, but it was a bad fix, right? And I don't want to be put in that position. Like, I'm not even happy with the fact that I already have two things I need to correct on the new map, right? I had to, I had to, where's my paper? Where's my paper? I already have to, where is it? There it is. I got the stuck marbles at the end of section 3, and then the cube placements in section 8, right? So, like, that's something I really probably should have fixed with more playtesting, but I was running out of time, so what are you gonna do? So yeah. Well, one, have they even confirmed portals? And two, I would imagine you have to place them as a pair, right? Like, you probably place it on the track, and it's probably a blue dot and a pink dot, right? Each one being a portal. And you could probably, either they're going to let you change the coordinates of each of those dots independently, or it'll have just a slider of distance apart, and it'll only be a linear portal, right? Which isn't a problem because you can rotate it in any orientation you want. So as long as the distance is enough, you can make it happen. But so, it's like, I don't even know if it's confirmed that they're going to be doing portals, and then how are they going to implement them, right? Or maybe each one will only be a blue dot, right? And it'll have the slider number like it has for the raceway pieces, right? For the raceway pieces, you choose between 0 and 10. It could be the same thing. You just place a portal, and then you have to set its number, and it's like, is start, is finish, and you can only have one start and one finish for each number, right? So who knows how they're going to even design it. So, well, that's the thing, villagers, is I'm probably, I have to see. Right now, only 3 runs have been completed because our first official run wasn't completed because everyone died. And the second run was 1 run. Baka Riley was the second one, and someone else did a 3rd one. So there's only been 3 registered runs on it. So I could change it today and re-upload it, but then it's going to lose the upvotes we gave it last night. So I could either re-upload it right before next Friday, or we can just let it go and see what happens. Because, all the playtesting I did, those endings never happened, right? So we can just see if those endings are a perennial problem, or if we were just unlucky with a double fluke at the end, right? Because if it's only going to happen that one time and no other stream's going to ever see those issues, then there's no reason to fix it, right? So portals are confirmed. Yeah, use the comp key. Yeah, that would make the most sense. But, as far as 1 hour maps go, they're not very useful, right? The success of the 1 hour map is the efficiency of a piece. And traveling an infinite number of coordinates instantaneously is not inefficient, right? You need 12 seconds per piece. So if you're crossing the entire map instantaneously, you're kind of doing it wrong. So now it would be cool to have, little reset pitfalls, right? You could have little cubes that act as a bridge And if you're the first marble across, you go across the cube bridge into the portal and get sent back to the beginning, and then the rest of the marbles fall down through the opening after that, right? So you could do something like that. But that only works in the context of the linear map making, right? So Season 16's and Season 14's maps, those were linear, right? Season 15's not linear, and this one is not linear in the sense that all the marbles go through after one goes through. So it doesn't matter if one marble's ahead because all the other marbles are coming up right behind it, right? And next season, I think I'm going to go back into an 8-sectioned build like we did in Season 15. I'm still playing with that architecture in my head because if marbles are completing one section, right, do they go back down to the starting piece like the first marble through? Or maybe that is an implementation for the warp pieces, right? So the first marble through hits the cube bridge and gets sent back to the beginning to unleash the next section. And the rest of the marbles go through the opening of the cube bridge into a portal into the next section. Like, you know, there may be an implementation there. But again, this is why I don't want to work on anything until next season, because you don't know, right? I'm just kind of playing with the ideas in my head. And then once I see what I'm working with architecturally, I can start putting stuff down. And more pieces for Tilted confirmed. I don't know, Dark Madam. I've submitted ideas to Pixel, and it's up to him what he does and does not want to implement. Well, yes, I reckon the one was Baka Riley, so he finished that. That was a fun. I actually have we could watch that right now if you want. If, in case you guys missed it, y'all tapped out early or something. Let's see. Yeah, I just play this.
Oh, wait,
how do we show?
someone
Oh,
already
I know
cleared
how
the
to
path
show
anyway.
it.
Wait, hold on. Wait, when did this happen? What? When did that happen?
And I'll keep talking about chat.
I don't know what happened, but it happened. Alright, how do we beat this? We gotta get rid of
When Unreal
that
5 kicks in,
block.
well, hopefully no more collision
Do
glitches,
so, you
right?
gotta come...
Hopefully that solves a lot of glitches when
From-
Unreal 5 kicks in. That would be nice.
What? I'm assuming it's this.
I love when he does the head, he literally scratches his head.
Alright, we can do this.
Because you know the phrase like
We
head
can do
scratcher,
this.
like a puzzle can be a head scratcher. Like he
Sometimes also
literally
for
scratches
taillights.
his head.
That too.
It's hilarious.
Doctor,
And
you
the
got the right
elevator
idea
music
here.
was another good touch.
You got the right momentum.
But
I
yeah,
believe
keep the
in you.
questions coming, guys. And
Be the savior we all need.
yeah, if any of you have any responses
No, too fast,
to
too fast, too fast! Dang it, Doctor.
my idea for like managing the flow of seasons, feedback on that would be really helpful. As to whether or not you think it's a good format, a good schedule or not.
Seriously, going way too fast, yep. Smoke is going too fast. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Now you're going too fast. Oh? Oh?
Why are the reactions to
No!
this map always so good?
Dang it.
Like that one Portuguese streamer last season. Like, you didn't even have to understand Portuguese. Just watching him, you knew exactly what he was communicating.
Freaking sponsor money. There's a video game made about you and you're the main character. What kind of a game would it be? Oh, wait, hold up. Saoirse! No! So close. Muffin, please, no! Ah! What kind of game would it be? Winner! Oh. Here we go. Here we go, guys. All right, no one break that top block. Nobody break the top block.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad news.
Winner's dead. You sacrificed yourself for the greater good. Muffin,
The
you
hero.
got this, buddy.
The hero.
You got this, buddy.
Winter the hero.
You got this, buddy. No! No, 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 not like this. Taco, no! No! Guys, please. Oh, oh, it's happening. Guys, come on. You got this. You got me. No! No, 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 no.
I had to
You got this.
capture it in clips.
It's over! It's over! It's done! Wait, did we beat? Whoa! We beat the average too. We beat the average. 92 minutes. 92 minutes. Wait, hold.
Just the relief. The relief. I love the
Hold
relief
up.
when it's finally over.
Fitting music.
That's the best moment.
Fitting music.
The winner takes all. It's the thrill of one more kill. The last one to fall. Oh, your time keeps going on.
So good.
Against all the odds,
So good.
against all your pain, your back's on the wall with no one to
So
Holy! 92 minutes. 90.
no, I like it, Kira. It teases people. It teases people. It's like, oh, it can be done under an hour. But can it?
Holy!
That's what happened in season 15, right? I uploaded with the secret number of marbles,
Oh my
and the
Jeebus.
time was 58 minutes, I think.
Oh my Jeebus.
So, well, there's Kira again. So, I kind of like the tease, because they'll see, like, average 70 minutes, average 80 minutes, and they'll see, like, world record 55 minutes. And actually, there is a chance to get it closer down to, like, 40 minutes. I would not be surprised to see a record time in the 40s this season. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, guys, any more questions floating around in your minds? What happened to Jay Baddock? Is he still here? Jay Baddock, what was your? Have you? Still thinking on that reformat. Oh man. But yeah, any other feedback on like season-long schedule as to how we kind of have that crescendo from 2 weeks in to ends of season, and then we just kind of disappear until the next 2 weeks in? Because I do appreciate feedback in those regards, for sure. And if you all have any other questions, feel free to ask. That's what today's all about. Me, the streamer, you, the community, having it out, one line at a time. Oh, and also, if you have any suggestions, I've kind of filled out July already for well, I'm not worried about being forgotten. I'm just talking about as a marketing strategy, essentially, like as a business model, right? Like, does it, because it seems inherently bad that you crescendo up into a 2 week void. But in the format of the Marble community, I think it makes sense. And that's kind of where I'm looking for assurance. Because I can't view it from the Marble community. I can only view it as it's my stream, right? So that's kind of why I'm asking you guys, is I need that community perspective. Like how well am I meshing into the flow of each season? I know it hasn't been a consistent pattern yet because we keep having horrific interruptions and we keep adding new things and taking things out. But I think what we did last season, aside from the whole moving thing, is what we're gonna do. Yeah. So basically, from 2 weeks after season 16 started to now is probably going to be the format going forward for a while until something changes, which is always, so who knows. Oh man. Okay. Whew. It's not that I'm taking time off. I when I'm building, right? So, you have all this hype with Tilted and races and talk show and all that stuff. And then it's just like blip. Shen's just staring at a track piece for 2 hours. This is fun, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going to be streaming practically every day. So it's not like I'm taking a 2-week break. I'm just talking content-wise. I just kind of disappear. I think it makes sense because, again, we have that giant, clusterfuck at the beginning of every season. And then once the dust settles, it's a better time to start, promoting events and stuff. But, I'm not saying, like I wouldn't stream it if I didn't think it was worthwhile streaming, right? But let's be real here. I get 91 people showing up for the 1-hour track debut. I get 10 people showing up for the build. Like, we're almost an order of magnitude apart. So, it's, or just being real. Rastalu, welcome in. Any other questions in chat? Trying to think what else I want to ask you guys. That's right. That's right. You can have your mark on the track. Well, that's what I did this season, right? I was kind of mixing in tilts, and then once we got to the playtesting, because no one wants to watch playtesting. No one, remember how bad last night was when we went 30 minutes into the race, and I was like, "Oops, scrap it, start over." Right? No one wants to watch that for 10 hours. That's not what we're gonna stream. So that's what we are doing. We are using Tilted to cover over the playtesting. But the downside to that, like this season, I did not get to playtest enough. I was reluctant in releasing the map as scheduled because I want to playtest it. I want it to be the map I want it to be. I don't want to just have it uploaded by an arbitrary date. So I'll have to figure that out next season. Next season, I might just take a couple more days off to playtest. Because I took Thursday off. You know how much playtesting I got done on Thursday? Even without streaming? I got 4 playtests done. 4. And 3 of those were for 10 marble counts only. Right? I did 3 10 marble counts and a 500 count. That's not playtesting. That's just running the track. So I did not playtest it enough, for sure. I mean, to supplement that, I was actually playtesting as I built it, right? So when I built the first half, I actually playtested the first half a whole bunch of times so that I wouldn't have to worry about changing it second half. So maybe that's another way we can go about it is, every 2 sections, fine-tune it, and then work on the next section. But the downside to that is if I want to change my format, right? Like if I don't like how the map's laid out, then I lose all that fine tuning, right? Because I'm gonna have to either rebuild everything or try to move everything, which is gonna require recalibrating anyway. So yeah, I know. teach track building. Well, that's what track building is. I'm always at any time, guys. Anytime you want to ask questions about building. If I'm building on stream, that's why I'm building on stream, to help people build. Like if I was like when I released Gravity Boondoggle, right? I didn't stream Gravity Boondoggle because I didn't want to be distracted. I wanted to make a track the way I wanted it to be, and it was my best track last season. It was probably the best track I've made so far, and I just wanted it to be what I had in my brain. And the one I'm going to do this season is going to be the other way. So that one, it was like a tube and everyone was pushing out. This season I want to do one where everyone's pushing in. So it's going to be like an X, and all the marbles are going to be pushed in on it. I didn't give it away, Valinders. I just don't upload tracks. And sometimes people want to run tracks that I created in previous seasons. So I will give them the file. A couple people have the season 15 track. Don't know if I gave away the season 16 track yet or not. I haven't had any strong requests for that. But Head Snap has his track. DDP has his track, right? Not giving it away, just letting people do what they want to do. So yeah. Maybe, Lug. If I was going to do something like that, that would be something I would be uninvolved in, right? So what I would say is, I'm going to make a track, and you guys are going to make a track. So I'm going to make a 1 hour track, and you guys are going to make a 1 hour track. If you want to submit, we'd have 10 sections, which means your section has to take 6 minutes from start to finish, not counting the start piece, right? Because whatever start piece you have is irrelevant. So I would have to say you have to use the Plinko board with the 9 blades for your start piece, right? And it has to be a 6 minute track, and it can only use, I guess it'd be 3. Yeah, because I want some extra pieces for jumps and everything, right? So 10 sections. It would probably be 25 pieces, to be honest, to allow me to finagle things and fine tune stuff. You'd have to make a 6 minute track with 25 pieces, right? And then we could do 2 1 hour tracks in the same season. That would be something. Because then all I would have to do is just reconstruct stuff, right? The play testing would not be my job, right? You would just give me coordinates. I would copy the coordinates. Because, right, 25 pieces. That's just 25 pieces with their coordinates and rotations. And then I just plug it in, right? We'll see. I think that's a bit further down. Like, we just cracked the code of the 1 hour map, right? That's what this season was about. I tried to do it last season, and I don't think I did. This season, I definitely did. We've definitely cracked the code. So now we have to take everything we've learned and get back up to the season 15 caliber with maintaining our data set, right? That's the challenge for next season. And then maybe after next season, I'll be like, okay, I've done what I can do. Now let's get some other people in on the action, right? So that would be good. Question for you guys. How would you rank all the things we do? So I'll post, I guess we could do this. Hold on. This will work. This will work. Where is Notepad? There it is. Okay. Perfect. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do it like this. All right, bro. Nalu, stop looking. Get out of here, Nalu. Let's make the font really big so everyone can see it. Hey, whoa, that's really big. All right. That's not what I'm asking, Valindris. That's not what I'm asking. All right, here's what I'm asking. Okay, so we have color commentary. Oh, you get to listen to my keyboard. We got color commentary. We got Thursday Flair. We got 1 hour. We got talk show. I guess we whatever. And we got teaching tilting. And we got regular tilting. What else do we do? Is there anything else we do? That's a lot. That's 6 things. We only stream 7 days a week, and we got 6 things. That's crazy. How would you rank these things? Is there anything I'm missing? Did I miss anything? Tilt your own adventure? I guess I was thinking that's part of tilting, but maybe we could make that more of a thing if enough people like it, right? Story time too, yeah. Those are both kind of maybe story time could be more of a thing. Maybe we could maybe story time could become its own show. We would still tilt during it, but right now my font's too big. Maybe story time could be its own thing. We'll see, Scorba. It depends on how well tomorrow goes. That's up to you guys and my ability to not fuck up. So how would you rank all these things? Where do we put it? Where do we put it? We'll just go down the list, okay? Here's what we're doing. All right. Thursday Flair. Above or below color commentary. Now, by this, I need to clarify because there's color commentary during Thursday Flair. Color commentary would be just running pixel maps. Maybe high-ranked community maps. But just running pixel maps and high-ranked community maps as races. Basically an elevated grind. That would be what color commentary is. Thursday Flair. I'm hoping everyone here knows what Thursday Flair is. It's Operation Chicken. It's Project Chicken. And I think that would be included in story time, yeah. We had 27... guys, can we... I'm going to take a quick break from our ranking system just to acknowledge. We had 27 people before I woke up the next morning. You guys crushed it. You guys fucking crushed it. We had 27 people before I even woke up the next morning. Well, that's the thing. Is Thursday Flair... It incorporates the color commentary, but in a much different way, right? So the color commentary isn't as strong in Thursday Flair. It's more the overarching narrative. It's more the playback between Shen and Louisiana Jones, which I really like. I've always wanted to do more of that. That was one of the things I always criticized myself back when I was just grinding races. I always criticized myself for not having enough back and forth between Shen and Jones. And Thursday Flair is like the perfect format for Shen and Jones because they both get about an average amount of screen time. So it allows me to really play with both personalities in real time. So it's not as much on the color commentary. Color commentary for Thursday Flair is more just the part of Shen's TV's personality, right? So, it seems like everyone's leaning that. That's what I'm saying. It's the color commentary. I wish had more of a place. It's a great novelty, but it's not sustenance, you know. And I've actually had to talk to a lot of people about that. You know, these there's streams that always seem like they have a high viewer count, and this also ties into like, you know, paying for viewers, as I call it, when you have cash prizes for marbles. Um, that's all novelty, right? So it seems like they always have a lot of viewers, but I would wager a huge bet that their numbers are all over the place. So they probably get like 10,000 unique views, even though they're only sustaining about 100, whereas I sustain about 40, but I have, you know, 2,000 unique viewers. So my proportions are probably way higher than those novelty streams, right? And the issue being is that with a novelty stream, you have to keep it novel, right? So if you keep doing the same novel thing over and over again, it's eventually just going to disappear. People are going to see, they're going to have already seen it, and they're not going to click a second time, right? So the novelty wears off, and you either have to keep innovating on the novelty, which means you're not building a follower base whatsoever because you're constantly changing. You're just like this will-o-wisp flight of fancy going through Twitch, right? Which, you know, some people may stick around for, but I would have wagered not a lot of people would, right? So that's the thing, I've both with streaming and just people in real life that I know. You know, they seem really successful from an outside perspective, but then once you get to know them personally, they kind of concede to you, like, you know, they feel very lonely. They actually don't have a lot of real friends. Not many people stick around for long. And it's like, that's because you're building your life around novelty. You have all these little social tricks and skills and facets about you that get people's attention, but then once you have their attention, you don't do anything with it, right? And that's kind of where color commentary lies, I feel, because it's a great draw to get people into the stream, but once they're in the stream, because I'm doing the color commentary, I can't interact with chat during a race. I can only interact with chat between races. And so the only people that show up are the people that are there for the races. But because we can only interact with chat between races, that really slows down the races. So the people there for the races aren't getting as many races as they want, and the people that want to be there for the chatting aren't getting all the chatting they want. So it doesn't work as a sustainability for anybody. It's strictly a novelty, right? So as much as I would love to do that as a full, you know, 6-hour stream 5 days a week, it doesn't work that way, I don't think. Don't know what Tiltron Adventure is? That's the name that Bulba Kramer gave it to us. Bulba Kramer would definitely have this at number one. That's. I think we could we'll just bump this one up right now because that's where Bulba Kramer would put it. But yeah. Well, we're gonna just so this. Yeah, y'all guys are. This is what I was trying to avoid. Is everyone's just kind of throwing it out there. So we're gonna do this one at a time. But so it seems like more people, and Kira, not to say I don't, like, I agree with you, right? But as I also just stated, the majority consensus is that the Thursday Flare is a bit more popular than the color commentary for those reasons I stated. So I think the majority of you would agree that Thursday Flare surpasses color commentary. 8-way tie. Hey, you know, you can say that. I would hope that the stream collectively doesn't do that, but you can say that for sure. All right. 1 hour map. Where's that go? Does that go? And so we're going like this, right? So we sort these three, and then we'll place this one, and then we'll place this one, right? We're just going one thing at a time here, right? So 1 hour. Is that number 1, 2, or 3? And again, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you have any long contributions to make to the conversation at hand, feel free to pop it in the Discord, which is conveniently hiding right behind the notepad. So, well, we're not there yet, Lug. We're not there yet. We're getting there. So will we put 1 hour above or below Thursday Flare? For me, I think I would put it above. All right, Valenders. We'll be around. I just realized we're already 52 minutes into this talk. It's crazy. Well, that's what we're trying to figure out also, Grim, is like, are these things we want to do more of, right? Could we make them their own thing? 1 hour should be number 2. Shoni thinks just barely above. So it's kind of tied, but barely peeking over the top. That's what I'm kind of hearing. We'll wait for a little bit more input. We'll wait for a little more input. Scorber likes Thursday Flare too. Wow. Wow. I am surprised. I am surprised at the defending of Thursday Flare. I thought Thursday Flare was honestly on its way out. Honestly. I thought Thursday Flare was going the way of the color commentary. And here the chat. See, this is why we're doing this, guys. I'm learning things. Important information. KJ's boot also waiting. Well, looks like it's mixed. Looks like it's mixed. All right, so those are like tied. That's all right, Lug. You do what you got to do. We'll be here. Yep, yep. So Thursday, Friday, it's a powerhouse punch, I guess. That Thursday, Friday, boom, boom. Thursday Flare, 1 hour, bam, bam. So putting those together is a good idea. So that's... Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to smoosh them. We'll smoosh them. We'll smoosh them. But no, so what? That's what I'm trying to define, Shoni, is that color commentary used to be its own thing. It was pixel maps, maybe a couple of high-ranked community maps. Solid racing, like a grind, essentially, right? That's what it used to be. We don't do it anymore because it's a novelty. It's not a sustenance, right? Which is what we were talking about before. So it is its own thing, but it has gone the wayside for obvious reasons. There are more attractive things we could be doing with our stream than color commentary. All right, let's get talk show it here. Let's where are we putting this bad boy? Where are we putting this bad boy? Right, Shoni, and that's what we were talking about is with the color commentary. I can't interact with stream or with chat during the race, so I can only interact between the races, which means interacting with the chat between races slows it down, which makes it not attractive to grinders, and the fact that I'm not paying attention to chat during races makes it unattractive to the people not there for the grind, right? So it doesn't work for either group, and that's what we were trying to do. That's what we're defining is it's a novelty. It gets people in the stream, but it's not sustainable. It doesn't retain viewership because it doesn't do any one thing good. Looks like we're putting talk show above color commentary but below the other two. Is that that's one vote. Do we have other votes? Any other opinions on the matter as far as where we want to place the talk show? This being an atypical episode, actually, for obvious reasons. Okay, well, there's a YouTube link for that, by the way. Just so you know. Just so you know, there is a YouTube link for that. I'll get it right now. Boom. Is that it? Well, I just posted it for everybody because why not at this point? GJC commented on my YouTube video. Y'all watching GJC's YouTube videos? They're awesome. Check them out. All right. Any other weigh-ins on the placement of the talk show in the ranking? Whether it be above or below color commentary, above or below 1 Hour Map and Thursday Flair. And to be fair, talk show is only 5 episodes long, not counting this one. So it's still in its infancy. So the fact that it's outweighing ideas of the past is a good sign, right? All right, number 6, teaching tilting. Where we popping this bad boy? Where's teaching tilting going? Where are we putting this bad boy? Putting it in number 2. Is that above or below Thursday Flair? Putting them all squished in. Cybernet Kraken likes it first. Ooh, that's good to know. That's good to know. Say above talk show. I could see that. That seems to be general consensus. It's interesting. The things, like, we have to keep in mind, we have a pretty small sample size of the stream right now. There's a lot of the grinders and a lot of the tilters aren't here, right? So I'm sure they would have a much different opinion on the ranking. That being said, they're not as much of a part of the community generally. There are some exceptions, like Mrs. Homer Simpson or Miss Waffles or a couple others, but teach tilt and tilt schmoosh. Well, let's see what else we got. We got regular tilting. So that's the question. Does regular tilting go above or below teaching tilting? That's the question. Right. Does regular tilting go above or below teaching tilting? Just below. It's almost one and the same, but it's not. That's the point, Grim. That's what we're doing today. Scorbo, what's it above? So the utility of teaching tilting is there, but the entertainment value of regular tilting surpasses teaching tilting. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Looks like we got some work to do on the talk show, huh? To the top. To the top. Get it up to the top. All right. Tilt your own adventure. Where's this bad boy going? Tilt your own adventure. This is where you issue a challenge with your join command that I have to complete before the level is over. You can have one condition and one modifier, like kill your marble first, or have your marble circle around all the squares before it goes into the win bin, stuff like that. It is a lot of fun to watch, but it's hard to get people on board, right? That's the, like, it's I know on the viewer side, I hope on the viewer side it's fun. I feel like for some people it might be a little slow and a little drawn out, but that's because on my side I'm fucking pulling teeth every fucking level, right? Trying to get people on board with it. So, like, until I can find a more efficient way to get people on board, it's gonna have that kind of pulling teeth taste to it, because it's so community dependent, and maybe our community is just not big enough to get it there. Like, maybe Tilt Your Own Adventure is too big for us, right? Maybe it was such a good idea that we don't have a large enough community to support it, and that might have to come back later. Maybe. Oh, the grinders fucking hate it. The grinders fucking hate it. Well, no, there's no limit on people issuing the challenge. It's just they don't because they're grinders, right? They just want to see their marble in the win bin so they get their points, right? So it's definitely something I don't think works mixing it in to a regular stream, right? Like sometimes, like that's a lot of times why I try to console Bubba Kramer is because yes, it definitely makes the first 14 levels less boring, but it also makes the first 14 levels take about an hour and a half, right? So in the arc of an actual tilt stream, it's terrible. It's really a standalone thing. It works great if we're doing an end of the season blowout. It works if we're just doing a short stream and we don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to fool around for a while, right? It works, but I think it has to stand alone, and I think as a standalone idea, it's brilliant, but we don't have the community for it yet, so it might be an idea ahead of its time. Devote like a separate day to it. Could be, Scorba. Could be. Maybe that's something. This is why we're doing this, guys. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put Tilt Route Adventure right here. I think actually it's gonna be like this. And the reason I'm doing that is because I think they're both novelty. Tilt Route Adventure might be in that novelty area of things. However, it's above color commentary because it actually does have some sustainability to it. That color commentary does not, right? And yeah, maybe definitely for off season, for sure. But that's going to be the challenge then, is how do we incorporate it on season, right? Because let's be honest, Validrus, right? The 1 hour map is perfect for off season when points aren't a thing. That didn't stop us, right? Thursday Flare is perfect for off season when points aren't a thing, but that didn't stop us, right? So that's ill-advised advice, right? So that shouldn't stop it from being a good idea. It's definitely teaching tilting, is still appealing to grinders, right? Tilt Your Own Adventure is not. So yeah, I think that's where it goes for now. But with the feedback you guys have given, the point of the list isn't like, yeah, we're just gonna build the list, we're just gonna kill the last 3 things on the bottom of the list. No, the whole point is we'll make the list and then we'll look at the list and be like, well, that isn't right. Why is this down here? This is a great idea. It should be up here, right? What can we do to get this from here to here, right? So that's exactly why we're doing this. So thank y'all for the feedback. I was hoping to do stuff like this today, and this is going great. So here we go. All right, there it is. There it is. That's the big one. That's the big one. This fucker. All right. Can we get real for a second here? All right. All right. I have like 4 more story times I haven't even begun to work on yet. And it's falling into the Tahiti Monday category, right? It's one of those things where it's hours of work for a minute of content, right? Every minute of content is an hour. So if I'm doing a 20-minute story time, there's probably like 20 hours of work that went into it behind the scenes, okay? And that's the hesitation, because I've done Tahiti Monday multiple times for multiple games, and it still hasn't really paid off as far as work to recuperate. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate that I'm helping a lot of people learn how to tilt. It was a labor of love, which is why I brought it back, because that's what Tahiti Monday's always been, is a labor of love, right? But story time. Oh, man. The promise is there. Every time I do a story time, my tilted viewership goes up. Like, I know it works. I know it works. I know it works. But it, like, the risk reward, right? The amount of time sunk into it for the reward. Like, this is what I'm trying to gauge. So I want to go full ham on story time, but just I know, Kira. I know, guys. I know, I know, I know. There are so many good things about story time. I know, but it's a lot of work. And like, is it proportionate? Right? Is it proportionate? Is it worth? Like, is it worth it, or is it just a distraction? Right? Project Chicken is definitely part of story time. It's the exact same concept, right? That's true. That's true. Project Chicken and Project Egg both saw you in and out of marbles. So fair enough on that. Well, sometimes it bleeds into golds, right? So sometimes it just keeps going. Story time, man. All right. Well, let me be real. This is where I want story time. I want story time right here. It's not there now, but that's where I want it. I want it right up there with the 1 hour map. And 1 hour map, another thing that takes dozens of hours, right? Not and the difference being, which is kind of strange, right? They both require the same amount of behind the scenes effort, and the execution time is about the same as well, right? And the turnout is about the same, right? We averaged 40 viewers for story time. We average 40 viewers for 1 hour maps. So they really are the same thing statistically. Well, I think story time is probably here, maybe above tilting. But keep in mind, the distance between here and here is much bigger or much smaller than from here to here, right? There's a drop off here, which is weird because my viewership for tilting is usually higher than Thursday Flare, but that's because it's grinders, right? Active viewers, I probably have more active viewers on Thursday Flare than tilting, I would imagine. What do you think? Would you put story time above just tilting? Or do you guys think the tilting has more general attraction than story time? And then on top of that, do you kind of synonymize the two? Like, you don't do a lot of you not even differentiate between just the straight tilt streams and the story time streams? That's the other question, right? I just look at like this is crazy. We only stream 7 days a week. How do we have 8 different like no wonder there's a problem. There's literally not enough days in the week. Literally not enough days in the week. Right. But as a stream, they are different experiences and they are different things and they draw different people, right? You can't say that, Grim. You can't. Now, as far as community, you can say that. I will readily admit that grinders are not a part of my community. They're part of the marbles community, and I am a part of the marbles community, right? We share a community, but they're not a part of my community. But you can't say they don't count because they are the blood of marbles, right? Grinders are the only thing pumping through the veins of every marble stream. You can't discount them. And Grim, that's another thing too, right? Let's talk about this psychologically speaking. I have grinders that play on Thursday Flare. Do you understand what that means? Like, do you understand what that means? I have grinders that play on Thursday Flare where they have no guarantee of energy returns, no guarantee of points, and they play on my stream. Like, do you know what that says about Thursday Flare? I check. Is it Sully Gnome? That's the one I check. I check Sully Gnome. Right, and I'm like, again, I'm not worried about that, Grim. What I'm trying to say is, you can't discount the grinders because the grinders are the blood that flows through every marble stream, and when grinders stick for things that are not grinder friendly, that says volumes, right? That is huge feedback, huge positive feedback, right? So, if anything, I would weigh the opinions of grinders more, right? Obviously, take it with a grain of salt because they're always going to prioritize races. But the moment they don't prioritize racing, that's huge positive feedback. That's a fucking flag in the sand, right? So that's kind of where I'm going with that. All right. So last opinions on story time above or below tilting as it currently stands. I'm not talking about like the perfect tilt stream, the perfect story time stream, or what you would want. Where as the stream is right now today, how do you think they hold up? It's true, Graham. It's true. It's hard to turn away from being the best in the world, right? There's only one thing I'm the best in the world at unequivocally, and that's tilting. You know, you could argue map making, but there's plenty of other good builders out there. You could other color commentary, but there's other shoutcasters out there, right? But the only unequivocal, undeniable fact for number one in the world as far as marbles goes is the tilting. So and that's also good feedback, right, KDH Boot? Because that's just like the grinders, right? There's people who don't have time to watch streams. I'm one of them. I wish I could watch everyone's streams, but I don't have time. Every waking hour that is not spent making money or sleeping is something marbles, and usually production or streaming, right? So I just don't have time to watch other people's streams. And so when people in those positions are watching my stream for something, that's just like a grinder watching something that's not races on my stream, right? It's like, whoa. They're sacrificing their comfort, they're sacrificing their schedule, they're sacrificing their regularity for something I'm doing. And you, like, hello? Are you paying attention? Right? And then, Grim, like I said, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that's hello, we're on to something, right? So I don't know. It's up there, but okay. So this, working list, arguable in any direction, but working list, right? So let's see what I would want as a list. And then we'll kind of see what you guys would want as a list. Here's what I would want as a list. In a perfect, if I had a perfect world, what would I want my list to look like? for right now, if we had a stronger community, I would want Tiltron to be, I would want Tiltron to be right here. If we had a bigger community, I would want it there, pushing all these down. But you know what? I'm just gonna put it there. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm gonna put it there. We're just gonna do it, right? That was the contingency. It was ideal world, right? Okay. So that's my ideal world. That's my ideal world. And that's not to say I think Thursday Flare should be erased off the face of the earth. That's not what I'm saying with this. What I'm saying with this is color commentary and Thursday Flare should just be like those sprinkles. They should just be something we can do when we want to do them. As a streamer, I'm not saying as a community, this is what I want. I'm not saying as a viewer, this is what I would want. I'm saying as a streamer, this is what I would want. Right? So, yeah. These three, it's not like they're bottom of the pile. It's just these three would be like when we're not doing something else, right? Because this would be its own stream. 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 This would be its own stream, right? So that's 5 streams right there. And then we would just pick between these 3 for the remaining 2 streams, right? Or if we get to a point where I can full-time stream financially, you know, we do one of these each day and we do one of these each day, right? That would be great. We'd have, you know, 5 days a week right here. And then, you know, in the afternoon, like noontime, we would do these 3. One of these 3. And then in the evening, we would have our big show with whatever it was, right? That would be a perfect schedule for me. You know, in the evening, we have a big show with a short time. And this is why it'd be good, is because these don't run long, right? I mean, the 1 hour runs long, but by that I mean it has a definitive end, right? A 1 hour, I can say we're doing 3 runs tonight. Okay, that's 4 hours. Blocked it in, right? Or we're doing the talk show. That's 3 hours. Blocked in. We're doing story time. That's 2 hours. Blocked in. We're doing Tilt Your Own Adventure. That's 2 hours. Blocked in. We're doing teaching tilting. That's 3 hours. Blocked in, right? So those are things that have like a definitive beginning and a definitive end, right? Tilting, you just go forever. Color commentary, you go forever. Thursday Flare, at this point, with 2,000 maps uploaded every season, you just go forever, right? So these, like, during the day as filler content, and I don't mean filler content as a derogatory concept, but just as, like, something you can do indefinitely, right? So those during the day, and then you have the big show at night for 5 days a week, right? So that's in my mind. Grim LV, because there's a couple of reasons. Let me get to Jay Baddock's question first. We'll kind of pause here, let you guys absorb my concept that I'm working with on this guy. And I think I'm actually going to do this. Formatting is really hard in Notepad. I don't know. There. That makes more sense. All right. So let's go over Jay Baddock's question real quick while you guys mull over that concept. In the second to last phrase in the tournament rules, it says devoid of cheating. Is considered cheating anything that goes against the rules, i.e. strategies if the rules allowed. Yes, so basically that's just for people's assurance, right? Because there, as an official tournament, there are real prizes on the line. There are PvP coins, there are marble mods, there are real things on the line, which means there inevitably will be people trying to win those things ingenuinely, right? So as a assurance to people in the competition, right, they just need to know I personally will be verifying every victory, every win for a prize off stream so that you guys don't feel like you're going to get cheated out of your prizes during the tournament. It's just so you don't have to worry about it, right? That's basically all I'm saying with that, right? It's just that I personally will ensure that everything that was gotten within the rules. So, you know, making sure someone didn't previously record a stream and then they're just streaming a video of their stream. Making sure people aren't doing a simulated run. Making sure people aren't hitting the start now button or using a marble count below 50, right? So well, story time's always going to be during tilting, right? That's just what story time is. Cuz here's the difference, right? Color commentary is a race. It has a start, it has an end, lasts about 3 minutes, and then there's an intermission period before the next one. Which means anything you do within the construct of that has to be within that framework, which you can relate to a short-term improv, right? You can have an idea, you execute the idea for 3 minutes, and then end scene, right? End scene. So it's short-term improv, short-frame improv, right? Short form, I guess. Story time, as a concept, is long-form improv. If you've never watched a long-form improv show, it is if you have a group that does it properly, it's phenomenal. I remember seeing one group whose name I failed to remember had this brilliant. They only got one word from the audience for the start of the show, and they had a 2-hour show off of that one word. And by long form, it's like 10 to 20 minutes for every bit. And what the beauty of that is it's storytelling. It's building up a narrative, building up a background, and then having it explode into a joke by the end of the scene, right? And the one thing that always sticks out in my mind about that show was so cool that they did. There was 4 of them, and for the end of the show, the last act, the last bit they did, they had 4 chairs on stage. They put on random costumes from whatever supplies they had in the back, which is part of the fun because, you know, each it's a touring company, so you don't know what venue you're going to be in and what costumes they'll have available in the back. So there's this scramble between the words you're given at the beginning of the show and whatever's available in the properties closet to kind of come up with a character on the spot for the last bit. So they all sit in their 4 chairs as their characters in costume, and it's like I don't want to say it's like a reality show when they have like people talking about what happened, because it's not interspliced with the actual scenes unfolding. It's just 4 people telling their individual stories, and they all start unrelated. The first line out of the first guy's mouth was, "I'm a level 9 wizard." And the crowd just erupted. Just from the first line of these 4 guys lined up in costume. He had the star hat and he had the robe, and he was like, "And I'm a level 9 wizard." Like, that was his character background in his one line. It was the funniest thing, because, you know, like, the level 9 wizard, that already explodes a huge background, right? We know someone who thinks they're a wizard, thinks wizards are leveled, And that's how they open their conversation, is by saying their level right out of the get-go, right? Like, it already builds a character, it already tells a story, it already has a background to it. And so he's just talking about a story, and then the next guy goes, and the next guy says, "Yeah, I'm a tree worker. I trim trees off of power lines, and you know, it's a tough job. It's hot. It's hard work. A lot of sweat, a lot of sap, a lot of bugs. But you know, it's got to get done, and I'm the guy to do it, right?" And the next guy goes, the next guy goes, and then they start getting into their story, right? And suddenly the wizard, you know, went to a party where one of his party tricks went wrong, and the party trick that went wrong happens to so that how he sets it up is the wizard is like, "So I was trying to create a polymorph spell on this one bloke at the party, and I wanted to turn him into a monkey, but I accidentally turned him into a shrew," right? And then, because of the way that they're going sequentially through each other, the guy who was the tree trimmer was like, "So I'm at this party with a couple friends. I didn't want to go in the first place because I had work in the morning, but you know, they said I don't get out enough because I'm always working. So they dragged me to this party, and not even 10 minutes after I get there, this douchebag wizard in a hat turns me into a fucking toad." Like, it's like they slowly start meshing these stories together, and it was this most beautiful long form improvisational storytelling that really captivated me. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Like, it was so well done. So if you guys can ever find like a long form improv, definitely check it out, because it's a very unique experience, and it's nothing like short term improv. That's kind of the more mainstream consumption of improv, right? So that's where that is with story time, is that long form improv. And racing is not conducive to long form improv. And also, stories have natural ebbs and flows, right? They have parts that get more exciting and parts that are more expositional. And there's an ebb and flow to tilting, right? There's the actual run, there's the loading screen, there's the finish screen, there's thing. And as the story's going, you're building up to a climax. And as the tilting's going, the levels are getting harder, right? So there's an inherent overlap in those structures, which is why they'll always be together. I don't think just story time as a story time is going to work. That's why I have the talk show. I can do this, right? I can do this in this format without tilting. So to do story time in this format would be a waste of story time, right? Because I could just do this, right? What do you mean a strategy that's ethically questionable? What do you... Give me an example. Give me an example. Because I don't know how you can ingenuinely get 100% in marbles. I don't see where you're going with that. You know you can't cheat in marbles, right? It's not possible. Unless you're literally hacking the code to marbles. You're not cheating marbles. You know that, right? I'm not following what you're talking about, David. Either come up with a cited example or specifically define cheating. Because to my knowledge, you can't cheat in marbles. Or it would be really obvious if you were, because there would be strict inconsistencies. How has Marble changed my streaming career? It allowed me to have a streaming career. I was streaming strictly as a hobby, and when I wanted to find a game to make a stronger career out of it, I found Marbles, right? I joined Marbles because I was looking for a game that I could get in on to build a career around, which is what I did. So yes. The answer to your question is yes. But going back to this list, guys. So this is as a streamer, this is what I want. I'm not saying this is how it should be. I'm just saying this is what would make my life most enjoyable as a streamer. My curiosity is, what do you guys want? So as I laid it out, these 5 would kind of be their own evening events with strict start and finish times. And then these 3 are more daytime fillers of just stuff we do during the day before we get to the big events, and maybe a dinner break in between, right? So that's where that's at. What do you guys think of that? And what would your ideal... Now you can give me your lists, right? Now you can post in chat, or even better, post in a Discord. Again, if you have long contributions to make that aren't going to fit in chat, plop them right in Discord. Right, but the issue currently being, Kira, this is impossible right now. I literally cannot afford to do this. This, as it is right now, this does not make me enough money. And in order to do this, I would need all the time of every day. So this is not possible right now. Oh, jeez. Jay Baddock. What did I just say? What did I just say, Jay Baddock? What? Oh, you were misinterpreting the meaning of the word genuine. Okay. So you thought I considered certain strategies ingenuine. But no, by genuine, I strictly mean that you did not hack the code of marbles. So, yeah. That you did not hack the code of marbles and that you did follow the rules of the tournament. That's all it means. So. But yeah, if you have further clarification, pop it in Discord for sure. I got Discord right here. We can all check it out. But yeah, if you guys wanted to post your list either in chat or in Discord, I'd be interested to see what you think is ideal. Because like I said, this would be great for me. I think this is ideal world, but we're not there yet. So either you think you know what's either post what you think would be an ideal setup like I did, or post what you think would work right now, or how you would rank these right now, or how you would want these to be ranked, right? And that's going to give me a lot of feedback. And probably in Discord would be better, because then I can look it over after stream instead of in chat and try and have to go back and watch the VOD, right? So, yeah. Think about that on your own time if you want, and then just get back to me in Discord with how you would place them or how you'd want it formatted, and we'll use that feedback. That being said, this is going to bring us to the final question I wanted to ask today, and we're already an hour and a half in. This is amazing. We didn't even have a midstream mix-up. Go figure. Midstream mix-up. Quick, we're going to tilt. We're going to do a race. Wait, what, Flanny Man? Did you mean end of the week? Or did you mean Fridays? What is... Monday is not the end of the week. I don't... Flanny Man, what... What is... Fridays. Okay, yeah, that's why I put it on Fridays. It's Community Day, right? That's kind of the thing. Community Day. Oh, yeah, we got Community Day. And then the switch over on Community Day. And then Money Marbles. And then, oh, shit, Shen's wanted his 1 hour track, right? It's like that perfect knockout punch at the end of the night, right? That's why I put it there. And then you have the whole weekend, right? Then you have the Saturday tournaments. You have the Sunday tournaments. We have the talk show. We have Teaching Tilting. Like, it's a bam, 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 right? Big weekends every weekend. Except for the first 2 weekends of the season. So yeah, going back to my last question for you guys, and thank you again for all coming out, and this is exactly what I wanted to have happen today. What do you want to see? Is there an idea we've played with, like finding a way to get more competitive with map building or more interesting with map building, which I have people working on and ideas flowing for? Things outside of marbles you want to see me incorporate, like music or philosophy or anything like that? What do you guys want to see in the stream? Do you want to see more of something? Do you want to see less of something that already exists? Or is there something we're not doing you want us to try? What do you all, what do you want? That's the biggest question. And we're going to do this every season. I've decided it's going to be 12 episodes a season. And there's going to be a 1 week off between each season. It's going to be a little weird this first time around because 4th of July is on a Saturday. So 4th of July, there will be no show. I'm enjoying the first, well, I should probably let loose. A special event happening not on my channel that I'm involved with, July 1st. After that, I will be taking a break. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, no stream, no nothing. I'll be back on the 5th. And then I'll probably be moving middle of the month. So July's going to be a little rocky. All right, Jay Baddick. Check it out. I've definitely debated pre-recording multiple characters. I actually wanted to do it initially as a promo image. So what I wanted was all 4 characters to be Shen's TV in the middle. And then it'd be Shen off to the side. Or actually, it'd be Shen in the middle. It'd be Shen's TV next to him. Jones would be behind him. Ignorance would be behind Shen's. And they're all kind of like leaning each other. And like, I don't have the time or technology to pull that off right now. But if we go into the rebranding, which is also on the plate, I'm currently, like, we're getting to the point where this stream is becoming an actual business, right? So I'm starting to look into rebranding. I'm starting to look into production value. And right now, the biggest question I have is, do we do it piecemeal and go bit by bit? Or do we just save up and bam, one big rebrand all at once? And generally, you know, people will advise, especially Jamie will advise against the big rebrand all at once, right? But that's mostly in the perspective of starting streamers, right? Because you don't know what you want. But at this point, I know what I want. So I don't think a rebranding in one big shot would be ill-advised. But that is a lot of work behind the scenes over a long period of time. Whereas doing it piecemeal is a lot more manageable for how things currently are for me. But I don't think it's going to be as uniform as, like, you know, if I'm doing each thing individually, there's going to be little changes happening along the way, and not everything's going to be a perfect match, in my opinion, right? So if we go into the rebranding, there will be more stuff of that where you're going to see more than one character on the screen at the same time. There'll be promo images and promo videos of the character in more than one position at the same time. So yeah, I'm debating. I'm debating what I want. I don't know what I want yet. I'm leaning toward one big rebrand because my trepidation about the piece by piece rebranding is that things aren't going to match as perfectly as I want them to. The 5th character. I was wondering who was going to talk about that. You might. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. What? No, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not. Just trust me on this. I got this, guys. I got this. Okay? They came out of the fucking woodwork. Holy shit. They are terrified. You may meet the 5th character. The only clue. I know. Just let me get through this fucking sentence. I'll deal with the ramifications afterwards. Okay? Jeez. All right. Fuck off. The only clue I'm going to give about the 5th character is whether or not they are revealed is not up to me. It is up to other people whether the 5th character is revealed. So, yeah. That's all I can say. It depends on the actions of other people as to whether or not the 5th character is revealed. And that's none of you. None of you watching. No one watching is part of that. Although the people that are in charge of that happening do occasionally watch. I've said too much. Okay, I'm shutting up. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry. All right, I'm stopping. Conversation's over. We're done. Okay. I'm backing off. I'm backing off. Backing off. Okay. Could be. Could be female. I didn't say they were female. I said they could be female. You guys are giving away more than I am. Jesus. Okay. This is going downhill fast. Oh. All right. Anyway. So yeah, that's where we're at. At the 5th character. It's not up to me. Yep. I've been working on it. All right. Let's check Discord. Ooh. All right. Number 1, tilting. Number 2, 1 hour. Number 3, story time. Number 4, Thursday Flare. Number 5, teaching tilting. Number 6, talk show. Number 7, Tiltron. Number 8, color commentary. There are rules. You can't bend the rules. The rules are fixed. The rules are simple. Live stream, not simulation. Minimum 50 marble cap. Minimum 30 seconds load time. All right. The only way I think you could potentially cheat that is if you made an alternative account. So everyone following you isn't following your other account. So you have lower viewer counts, but you're still you, so you can tilt as well as you do. Which I think would be pretty obvious. Plus, the reward wouldn't go to you, it would go to your alternative account. So you'd have an alternative account that you don't use to stream that now has, 200 PvP coins in it. Congratulations. So, I don't think that's going to actually do anything. I don't really see it. The rules are not flexible. They are numerically defined. So either you're within those numbers or you're not within those numbers. Numbers don't wiggle. Hate to tell you. And even if you try to do things where you leave the title card up for a long time and then you wait a minute so that people tab out or they hit their play command and leave not realizing you didn't start yet, and then you click next level and then you click start right away, right? That's just wasting your time. That's a disadvantage. So there's really no way around the rules. That's why I designed the rules that way. It's almost like I've been in every tilting tournament since tilting was created, and I know all the tricks in the current meta. Not to say there might not be new tricks that will require rules in the future, but as the rules are constructed, you're either within them or not within them. Now, maybe something is currently unexplored that gets exploited tomorrow, right? Then they win, And next tournament, we make a new rule saying you can't do that. That's all. I can't say I win almost every tilting tournament. I've won half of them, right? Because the first time around, I won one, Senshin won one. Second time around, I won one, Ken won one. Third time around, I won two. Flynn Gaming won one. And was it Balico won the last one? Right? Landyman going with teaching tilting, story time, Tiltron, story time. Is that it? And had to get it in there twice. You like it that much, huh? I was expecting it to be like teaching tilting, story time, Tiltron, story time, Thursday Flare, story time, 1 hour, story time, tilting, story time, color commentary, story time. Like that's what I thought you were doing for a second. But teaching tilting, story time, Tiltron, Thursday Flare, 1 hour, tilting. Tilting's in there twice too. Oh no, teaching tilting then tilting. So tilting and color commentary at the bottom. Thursday Flare above 1 hour. Interesting. So which one did you miss? Talk show. You didn't put talk show in there. Is one of those story times supposed to be a talk show? It's talk show 5. I'm going to guess talk show is 5. Or 4, excuse me. I'm guessing talk show's 4. But yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured, number 4. Yeah. Okay. So interesting. And is that how you would do it now, or is that what you think is an ideal priority? And Valindra's same question. Is that how you want it now, or is that what you think is the ideal priority? Go to bed. Go to bed, guys. Go to bed. What are you doing up still? All right. Any other things you guys would like to see in the stream that isn't there now? Ideal priority. Yeah, I could. All right. I see that. Tiltron above talk show. That's interesting. But again, yeah, I think maybe our viewership, our community base is not large enough yet for Tiltron to be what it can be. So that's a good point. Kind of both. Fair enough. Fair enough. Tilting keeps popping up to the top, though. I wouldn't put it up there, but again, I'm a streamer. Tilting, I don't know if you guys know this, but tilting's a lot of stress. So forgive me for not having it at the top of any of my lists. It's kind of brutal. I know we have fun with it, and I know I make it look easy, and I know we're the best in the world at it, but that doesn't mean it's not stressful. It doesn't mean it's not taxing. And it doesn't mean I don't want to shoot myself in the face 9 times out of 10. Like, every time we don't reach green wood on a run, I die a little. Even if I know I'm not going to do from the beginning because I'm too distracted, I still die a little bit. Hey, you know, that's the life of the clown, right? Dying on the inside, laughing on the outside. It is. It is. It is. All right. Well, anything else you guys would like to see more of, or less of, or new in the stream? Because we're wrapping up on our 2 hours. And thank you all for the feedback. This is exactly what I wanted for this episode of the season. And considering how well this has gone, I definitely will make this a reoccurring season by season event. So 1 episode might be the middle every time. It might be the 6th episode of every season. We'll do the chat one to get some feedback. More Sadie. I think she has enough. Exclusive Shens TV Mark Flandy Man. Funny you ask. Funny. Oops, well. Funny I don't know how to spell my own commands. Funny you should ask that. Funny you should ask that. Just saying. Just saying. All right. And I'm probably going to have to abandon the Primetime Pogos commercial. I'm going to try to contact them one more time. I don't know, this season or next season. But they might just not go for it. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, everyone. Well, unless anyone else has any last pressing issues, comments, concerns, questions, or anything for the talk show today, that's going to do it for episode 6, season 1 of Losing Our Marbles. Losing Our Marbles. Thank you all for watching. There will be no Q&A after the show today in real time because that was the show today. So hopefully something we'll be able to do each season of this talk show. So again, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed a rather unconventional format for this week. And we'll see you next week.